Hey everyone, let's begin. DPSPs we will start in this video. So DPSPs is Article 36 to 51 and in Part 4 of Indian Constitution. Now see, DPSP, it means they are basically some objectives that the government or the state has aimed to achieve within a certain timeline, and they have set that timeline too. Within these many years or within 20 years we need to achieve this thing. So DPSPs are basically objectives that have to be fulfilled or achieved within a certain period of time. This is also the reason why these cannot be enforced in a court of law. Okay, so remember DPSP Articles 36 to 51 in Part 4 lay down the guiding principles of governance for the state. So what they lay down, like I said, they are the objectives. So objectives regarding what? Regarding governance system. Given below are few salient features. It is the duty of state to apply these principles in making laws and policies on social and human development. So these are the objectives. It also means that it acts as a guiding principle that these things you need to apply in day-to-day life. While framing laws, you have to keep this thing in mind कि ये चीज़ हमें अचीव करनी है इस टाइम पीरियड तक. तो इससे रिलेटेड हम क्या लॉज बनाएं जो कि इनडायरेक्टली या डायरेक्टली हमें एक ऐसे पाथ पर ले जाए जहां ये ऑब्जेक्टिव भी फुलफिल हो रहा हो. So the policies, how governance has to be done, how and on what topics or on what areas laws need to be framed, so that all is as a guidance for that is DPSP. These are largely of the nature of economic and social rights. So these are economic and social rights, means it is in the arena of economy and social and human development it relates to. The provisions of DP are not enforceable by any court, but they provide guidance in carrying out and drafting laws and policies regarding human and social development. So please remember, these cannot be enforced in any court of law, contrary to the fundamental rights which can be enforced in the courts of law. And these are the guiding principles or objectives that help to carry and to draft laws, to maintain law and order as a guiding principle on how to carry out proper governance. And it also is related to making policies that would result in human development. So basically it is in the societal arena that result, and society is what? A group of individuals. So it is mainly in the arena of societal development and human development as well. Supreme Court has raised the status of many provisions of directive principles to that of fundamental right by suggesting they violate one's right to life. Right to life is Article 21. We did it in previous video. Right to life is given in Article 21 of Indian Constitution. And these DPSPs, some of them, see, at that time the constitution makers have given that these are the objectives that you need to fulfill within certain period of time, so that the Indian society can become a better place to live in. Okay, like the example is, each and every student should get elementary education, or each and every child rather should get elementary education. And for that we have Right to Education Act. Earlier it was a directive principle of state policy, that is DPSP, but it got elevated and it became a fundamental right now. Okay, so similarly there are more which have been taken under the category of Article 21. As I told you, Article 21 has a very wide it's a kind of umbrella that can have a lot of things under itself. Directive principles aim at promoting the welfare of people. As I told you, these are the guiding principles so that the Indian society can become a better place to live in, so that human development can take place, administration can take place at an efficient manner. So all in all, it promotes welfare and goodwill of the people. They intend to secure and protect social, economic, political justice of its citizens. These endeavor to minimize income inequalities and eliminate inequalities based on status, facilities, opportunities amongst both individuals and groups of people. So it also aims to reduce the kind of inequality or discrimination prevalent in the society. It aims to eliminate inequality based on status of the person in the society, or opportunity of job, education, or the resources that it gets. So basically, it ensures that every citizen is considered equally, and they are given social, economic, and political rights, and justice is administered to all. Now, DP of policies guide state to achieve various goals. As I told you, these are the objectives that guide the state or the government to fulfill some roles within a certain period of time. So these are some goals which I'm gonna read now. Right to educate means of livelihood for both men and women. I think till now everybody is well versed of this word livelihood. A person being able to earn a certain amount of money that is adequate or enough for him to fulfill his needs, for him to fill his stomach, to not sleep with an empty stomach. Okay, so livelihood is basically earning an amount of money that is enough for you to arrange for the basic necessities of life. That is livelihood. So adequate means of livelihood is there for men and women. They are provided enough job opportunities that they can take up, that indirectly ensures livelihood. Equal pay for equal work for both men and women. I think I have told you regarding this. If a male and a female are on the same post, in the same office, in the same department, they are doing the same amount of work that is assigned to them, but then too a man is getting more salary than the women, because we say no, that this society is a male dominated one. Males are considered to be superior than women. So seeing that a male is provided more salary for the equal work that is done by a woman at the same post, so this is also a type of discrimination. So this has to be avoided or reduced or eliminated rather, so that equal salary is given to both men and women who do equal work. Right to healthy working conditions for men, women, children. There is proper hygiene facilities and the environment. Healthy environment means that there is security of job, of living as a person till that time in that office, like nobody is pressurizing you to, मतलब कोई प्रेशराइज नहीं कर रहा है, या कह सकते हैं कि जैसे विमेन एक्सप्लॉयटेशन होता है, तो वो चीज़ नहीं होनी चाहिए. देयर इज़ सिक्योरिटी ऑफ लाइफ टिल द टाइम यू आर इन द ऑफिस premises. Protection to children against exploitation, against moral and material abandonment. I think this everybody knows. Right against exploitation, everybody knows. Moral and material abandonment means chhod dena. Abandonment means to leave. Okay. Legal aid for securing justice for those with economic or other disabilities. As I think I have told you many a times that the poor sections or the weaker sections of the society, they are not able to afford the high fees that those big lawyers or senior lawyers charge. So For them free legal aid is provided to them so that equal justice is ensured to everybody. So जो लोग इकोनॉमिकली स्टेबल नहीं हैं या इकोनॉमिकली केपेबल नहीं हैं लॉयर्स की फ़ीस देने के लिए, तो उनको फ्री लीगल एड प्रोवाइड करी जाए. दैट इज़ वन ऑफ द ऑब्जेक्टिव. Village panchayats vested with powers and functions as units of self-government in the village premises. Panchayati Raj system, that is. Then right to work, education, public assistance in cases of unemployment, old age, sickness, disablement, etc. A person is disabled or he is an old age person, so to them also proper facilities are provided. Public assistance is provided. That there are advertisements in TV, that if you 60 plus persons now don't need to come to the banks and stand on lines for day long. They just through their mobile phones, through an app, can get their works done. And that also applies to the disabled people who can't stand for a long period of time. So these things come under public assistance, public help, which is provided to these unemployed or old age or disabled people. And obviously if there is an unemployed person, the first priority of that person would be that he gets a secured job, right? So unemployed person, for him right to work has to be provided. That means job opportunity. Provision for just and humane conditions of work and for maternity leave. Maternity relief is basically maternity leaves can come under it. Leaves, छुट्टी, ठीक है, after pregnancy or after giving birth to the child, maternity leaves are provided to the women, okay, for 3 to 6 months. So that I was talking about over here, wherein we saw healthy working conditions. So there hygienic and just and humane conditions also come. Humane conditions, you have to treat women as a human, right? I think I don't need to see, there is nothing much that I can explain you word by word over here. These are very basic things and very general things that you may have come across in your daily life at some or the other point of time. So whatever is coming to my mind that I can explain to you at my best, that I am trying, obviously. But these are some very general things that I cannot go much deeper and then I can't do that basically. Then living wage and conditions of work to agricultural, industrial or other workers that ensures a decent standard of life and full enjoyment of leisure and social and cultural opportunities. Now see, this is also a part of an industrial amendment act, wherein a certain minimum monetary amount is set, which is to be provided to each and every labor for a work. Okay, if there is 1 day work, then there is a certain amount of money that is set as a minimum amount, that needs to be paid to the workers for sure. You can pay more than that amount but not less than that. As I said, it is the minimum limit which is set. So if I give you an example, limit is set as 100 rupees for a 1 day labor work. Okay, if you don't know what a 1 day labor work would be, you can ask that to your parents. Okay, so if the limit has been set as rupees 100, then you have to provide this amount for sure. And if you wish to provide something more as per your discretion, so that can be, so you can add any amount to this, but you cannot subtract anything from this. Okay, so this is the thing. And this ensures a decent standard of life कि अगर उन्हें कुछ भी नहीं मिल रहा है तो कम से कम वो 100 रुपये तो मिलेंगे, जिससे वो कुछ ना कुछ तो खरीद पाएंगे, अपना थोड़ा बहुत तो पेट भर पाएंगे. दिस ऑल्सो इंश्योर्स दैट दे आर नॉट एक्सप्लॉयटेड. आपने उनसे काम लिया बट उनको कुछ लोग होते हैं, काम ले लेते हैं, लड़ लेते हैं एट द एंड ऑफ द डे, ताकि उनको कुछ पे ना करना पड़े। तो इस तरीके का उनका एक्सप्लॉयटेशन ना हो, उनके साथ कह सकते हैं धोखा ना हो, तो ये मिनिमम अमाउंट सेट करना वो चीज़ भी इंश्योर करती है। Promoting cottage industries on an individual or corporative basis in rural areas. Cottage industries जो हैंडमेड प्रोडक्ट्स बनाते हैं विलेजेस में, कुछ हैंड बैग्स हो गए या शॉपिंग बैग्स हो गए जिसमें कुछ डिज़ाइंस होते हैं, लाइक crafts material, that all cottage industries, either a person can open it or it can open by a group of people in an cooperative manner. Cooperative, I think everybody knows. Then we come on to participation of workers in management of industries. Uniform civil code for citizens. Uniform civil code, now you can divide it into three and get the meaning itself. Uniform, that is common and same for all. Civil, related to the citizens or the common public. Code is generally used as a set of rules or regulations or provisions, okay, as we say, no, IPC, Indian Penal Code, CRPC, Criminal Procedure Code. So similarly, here we have Uniform Civil Code, okay, wherein there is one same set of rules or regulations or provisions for all family related matters. Why I am saying same? That means अभी तक सेम नहीं है क्या? नहीं है, because right now family matters are decided by the respective religious codes or books that are in the, like, if there is a Hindu religious, if there is a person who follows Hinduism and he is struck in a family related manner, that can be a property dispute, that can be related to marriage, divorce, or inheritance dispute, that can be anything which is, the basic fights that happen in a family. So if there is that dispute, so since he follows Hinduism, he is a follower of Hindu religion, so the laws that applies in his family matters is that of Hindu religion, that are given in that cultural book or the Hindu code, Hindu religious code. Similarly for the other religions. So इसको रिमूव करके एक यूनिफॉर्म कोड लाया जाए जो कि सब रिलीजन्स पर अप्लाई होगा, इररिस्पेक्टिव ऑफ द रिलीजन दैट द पर्सन फॉलोज. Then provision for early childhood care and education to children below age of 6 years. So below 6-year children are provided proper care and education facilities, and everybody is literate, basically that is the aim that we need to fulfill. Promotion of educational and economic interest of SC, ST and other weaker sections, and protection from social injustice and all forms of exploitation. Why this is being ensured at the time the makers were making the constitution? Because at that time the whole Indian society was divided into various classes, higher class people, lower class people, and in these lower sections these SC, STs used to come. Untouchability was followed as a practice. It was much prevalent. Caste system was much prevalent at that time in the ancient Indian society. So why again and again we are pressurizing on equality? To reduce or to remove the discrimination that was done, because now we want a society wherein it is a better place for people to live in. We don't want anybody to cry, right? That's why these SCs and STs, when you will be continuously, you will be forced, or you will be, कोई तुमसे बोलेगा तुम नीच जात के हो, तुम छोटे हो, तुम छोटी जात के हो, कंटिन्यूसली वो चीज़ सुनने में किसी को अच्छी नहीं लगेगी. एंड उस समय SC, STs की बहुत बुरी प्लाइट थी, उनके लिए हर चीज़ अलग थी. दे वर नॉट एबल टू यूज़ दी better facilities. They were not allowed to enter into the public places which were used by the higher classes of the people of society. So these were the heights of discrimination that can be done. So to remove all these aspects from the Indian society, equality is much pressurized, and this is another way of ensuring equality in the society, wherein we have to protect, we have to promote the educational and economic interest of these weaker or backward sections of the society, and we have to ensure that they are protected also from social injustice. For that we have SC and ST Atrocities Act. If a person abuses an SC person, or he beats an SC person, so that can be caught of the action, क्योंकि आप SC को मार रहे हो या ST को मार रहे हो, उनको अब्यूज़ कर रहे हो, उनको बोल रहे हो कि आप इस कास्ट के हैं तो मैं तुमको मारूंगा, ये सब चीज़ करोगे तो आपको पनिशमेंट मिलेगी। तो ये एक एक्सप्लॉयटेशन से बचाने का तरीका हो सकता है। अगर लोगों को पनिशमेंट मिलेगी, जेल जाना पड़ेगा, सिर्फ एक SC को मारने की वजह से, उसको अब्यूज़ करने की वजह से जेल जाना पड़ेगा, तो जाहिर सी बात है डरेंगे। इतनी छोटी सी बात के लिए तो जेल कोई नहीं जाना चाहता, डरेंगे, वो ये काम नहीं करेंगे शायद दोबारा। इसी चीज़ को इंश्योर करने के लिए, एक्सप्लॉयटेशन कम करने के लिए SC एंड ST एट्रोसिटीज़ एक्ट बनाया गया था। And so this is also a way of ensuring equality for these backward sections of society. Raising level of nutrition, standard of living, improving public health, prohibition of consumption of intoxicating drinks, drugs injurious to health. So intoxicating means जिसमें कुछ toxic material हो, okay, which will obviously be injurious to health and life. कुपोषण सुना होगा, टीवी में आता है एडवर्टीजमेंट, कुपोषण से बचाएं। सो कुपोषण इज़ व्हाट, जब प्रॉपर, व्हाई वी से वी हैव टू हैव अ बैलेंस्ड डाइट in which all the nutrients and a proper nutritional value, the things that we eat should have, so that our body gets a balance of all these nutrients and we remain healthy. So the people who are not much financially stable, they are basically also not able to afford a 2 square meal a day, so they don't get this appropriate nutritional value food to consume, because of which their body gets a lower nutrition and उसको कहते हैं कि उनको कुपोषण हो गया है। तो आप सबको पहले तो फूड प्रोवाइड करें और उस फूड में न्यूट्रिशन लेवल ज़्यादा हो, ताकि कोई भी भूखमरी से, या क्योंकि वो खा नहीं पाए 4 दिन से तो वो मर गए, ऐसे सिचुएशन ना हो। एक डिसेंट स्टैंडर्ड ऑफ लिविंग हो सबके लिए, पब्लिक हेल्थ हो, और जो भी चीज़ें इंजूरियस टू हेल्थ है, सी नाउ दे आर ऑल्सो प्रमोटिंग दैट लाइफ शुड बी प्रोटेक्टेड ना। अब ह्यूमन इज़ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, वेरी प्रेशियस, तो उसकी लाइफ को हम कैसे बचा सकते हैं? इफ़ वी प्रोहिबिट द कंजम्पशन ऑफ इंटॉक्सिकेटेड ड्रिंक्स एंड ड्रग्स which can adversely affect the health, or which can be also fatal to life. Organization of agriculture and animal husbandry in modern and scientific way, and preserving and improving the breeds, prohibiting slaughter of cows, because cows are considered to be mothers, right? गाय माता कहते हैं, यहाँ तो कहते हैं, आपका पता नहीं, यूपी में तो कहते हैं। So to prevent the slaughter of cows and organize agriculture, animal husbandry, I think everybody knows what animal husbandry is, to improve the yield and the breeds, then protection and improvement of environment and safeguarding of forest and wildlife. We need to protect, to improve the condition of environment and nature, because without nature, without forest, without trees, we cannot survive. We depend for a lot of things on nature, right? So we need to preserve that. If nature is providing us numerous things that is helping for us to ease our lives, so now it is our duty also to protect the nature. Protection of monuments, places and objects of artistic or national importance. This can also be said as कल्चरल हेरिटेज, ओके। सो कल्चरल हेरिटेज या जो हिस्टोरिकल मॉन्यूमेंट्स हैं, प्लेसेस हैं, उनको प्रोटेक्ट करना, सो दैट आवर कल्चर कैन बी प्रोटेक्टेड. दैट इज़ ऑल्सो एन इम्पॉर्टेंट. डोंट स्क्रिबल ऑन द वॉल्स ऑफ these monuments, okay? Don't ever do that, and if you see somebody doing that, you can also refuse him to do. Separation of judiciary from executive in public services of state, promotion of international peace and security, maintaining just and honorable relations between nations, that is to maintain friendly relation with the neighbor states or the neighbor countries, maintains internationally border space, security and peace maintain करना, फॉस्टरिंग रिस्पेक्ट फॉर इंटरनेशनल लॉ एंड ट्रीटी ऑब्लिगेशंस. अगर इंडिया किसी कंट्री के साथ या किसी इंटरनेशनल इंस्टीट्यूशन या ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के साथ कोई ट्रीटी साइन करती है, कोई मेमोरेंडम ऑफ अंडरस्टैंडिंग, दैट इज़ इन शॉर्ट सेड एज MOU, साइन करती है, तो इंटरनेशनल लॉज की और उस ट्रीटी जब आप कुछ साइन कर रहे हो तो उसकी कुछ ऑब्लिगेशंस होंगी, उसकी कुछ ड्यूटीज़ होंगी. As part of that treaty, you will be needed to fulfill those or to implement those things in your own country. So you have to abide by those obligations if you are signing the treaty. Encouraging settlement of international disputes by arbitration. कोर्ट तक हम मामला नहीं ले जाएं, एक थर्ड न्यूट्रल पार्टी को इलेक्ट करें, दैट इज़ आर्बिट्रेशन, और अपना जो इंटरनेशनल डिस्प्यूट है उसको सॉल्व करें. इसका मैं आई एम गेटिंग एन एग्जाम्पल. इफ़ यू रिमेंबर रिसेंटली when Mr. Donald Trump was the US president and India and Pakistan, there was a border dispute that can also come under the category of international peace and security, okay, to maintain security and peace at the borders. So and Donald Trump, he came and he suggested that I will be, if these countries want and if they are ready, then I can act as an arbitrator and it will help for solving their international disputes. So that will come under this category, the encouraging settlement of international disputes by arbitration. So this was a very apt example to be given at this point of time. Now Supreme Court has raised. From here we will begin in the next video.